I'm gonna get into it. I don't need an intro. Hold on a minute with that rollout. Guess she was just AFK. Weird, yeah. May completely split, so I guess we gotta do a speed back of that. But that's alright. It's whatever. Small mistakes shouldn't happen always. But if there is someone split, I would like to see them sped back. Are getting a little ahead of team 2. I feel like rollout is super important for everybody to be as, you know, even and get as much space as early as possible too, so I would like to see that sped up as well. Small concept, but it does affect win rate. What the fuck? Alright, never mind. Make sure May is late every single time you play this map. Perfect. Easy. They never saw it coming. It really fucks up their engage, especially because their Sombra's just like not getting to a decent position. Yeah. That was very, very close. They were not setting that up correctly. Their ball and their Sombra were completely desync, but that could have led to a possible pickoff. Alright. I haven't said it in the recording yet, but the breakdown of this sort of like comp v comp matchup. You guys have this very stable core that's good at fighting close onto each other, and Tech will have a little bit of range pressure, but you guys have a lot of vulnerable squishies in here. Since Lucio's kind of vulnerable, but a little bit less because they can just move out of the way a lot and be a little tricksy. But you have a lot of vulnerabilities for them to punish having this sort of, well, it was Sombra Tracer, but now it's Sombra Soj. So, okay, it's not as bad. But the fact that they have Discord, Slam, and a hack follow-up means that you really cannot let your... you can't let Soj get out of a place that BAP can immediately like lamp and shift and spam heal them. And Tin has to be ready to use lamp to absorb dives, because the fact that they can just start an engage with a hack into a slam is going to guarantee kill pressure onto whatever squishy that they go onto. And of course for Luna it doesn't matter as much because they can just shift, you know. And we have a Lucio for boops against Ball, which should be looked for as much as possible. But other than that, these squishies are vulnerable to, you know, 100 damage slam, and then it's hard to say what his Gatling gun follow up, just his left click follow up, and with the hack damage boost, getting that burst damage along with 2 rapid fire follow ups from different angles, it's guaranteed enough damage to kill one of these squishies. So they never really want to be completely alone. Tex also got to try and keep his shift available to try and dodge maximum like damage from the slam. So one thing for Tech to keep in mind is to always have your shift available, because the second you use that, you're immediately vulnerable to a slam instant kill from their follow-up. And they're going to be looking for you too if they're a smart team. They're going to recognize, you know, can't really fucking dive that. Going after Rein is kind of dumb. They did a hack onto there. They're only going to do that if you're so split on cart and your team is over here and they have like Zen pressure off on that. So they could have done it on first, but they really weren't coordinated for that. Sombra wanted to go for it and Ball wanted to go for squishies. So they had a miscommunication there. But that could work with, you know, your shield dropping, slam damage, Discord up here, and Sombra damage. It might not, it won't instant kill you, but it should be enough to force, you know, a lot of heal spam or a lamp. And if you're too split off, like you're completely out of LOS of your team, then that's dangerous. So you got to watch out for that. Plus, I do think theoretically, let's say most teams are going to run the Tracer with it, not the Soj. So if you are running against that Tracer Sombra composition that we saw in the beginning, that's a triple threat that is so much more effective than just the Sombra ball. And it's so effective that you really can't just split as Reinhardt, because your backline will just get mauled instantly, right? Like the second that they slam engage and they have two different directions of burst DPS along with the Hammond, that's a triangle of death with 100 damage burst to start and disabling abilities. Right, like they will fuck up somebody on their backline and then they can just turn because they just eliminated somebody within like a second and a half. So I would like close Rein play. You could have most of the team around this area attacking onto the point and having the roof above them so that ball can't get like a perfect slam onto them. The thing you'd have to worry about is like a swing in from the side and then a slam. And that's something that Lucio player will have to stare at to try and mitigate because that is a pretty decent play. But I do like the semi group onto there because you have a couple options to mitigate the instant kills onto your squishies, which is if you're all grouped like that, your lamp will affect everybody, your heal burst will affect everybody, and I would want Rein to turn and shield to get rid of either Sombra damage or Tracer damage. And then you're just like getting rid of two of the big burst follow-ups, right? I would like Luna to try and wall off the Zen Brig because they're going to be playing in static locations, right, together. They're never really going to just be in a place where they can just, like if they were here or here and you wall forward, they'll just walk across, right? But like if they're all the way across here, all the way through here, nothing they can do. All the way across here, it's going to be at least a little bit longer to get any sort of follow-up, and then you guys are playing hard cover against it, right? You're just kiting against whatever that follow-up angle is so that you don't get any Zen Orbs in the back of whoever's getting dived, right? And then you have a shield for one side, a wall for the other, and you have Immortality Field and Burst Shift and Amp Heal to mitigate any damage that they're doing on the dive while getting rid of two of their damage sources. That's an easy absorb. And the reason you want to do this absorb is because if they have full cooldowns and you guys try to, let's say like their Briggs End was playing up here, or they were playing over here, and they were playing over here. If you guys try and just sprint across and rush them, sprint across, rush them, or sprint across and rush them, that's exactly what Hammond, Sombra, and if they had a Tracer, would want. Because then all they have to do is whatever direction you're pushing in, ball can engage from the side or just straight forward to slow down the dive as you guys are rushing across and they're throwing a bunch of damage in. And then Sombra and Tracer, wherever they're holding from or hiding from, they will just get a free sidelight angle onto your backline while you guys just got disrupted and slammed on, right? So that's like a perfect engage for them while you guys are in a FUT position out in the open with no hard cover to play around, and you're just trying to int that supports quickly. All right, so int that supports quickly doesn't work with that scenario when they have all cooldowns. All your squishies will get fucked really badly, you know? And you're going to, if you're playing Rush, some of you will get desynced, right? Like Bap won't want to just fly in there, so they'll play a little bit further back, but that actually kills them because they're not in a place where Rein can start to mitigate backline pressure and all that other stuff that we said with absorption when you're prepared for it, right? And you can prepare for it while pressuring the cart so that they have to do something to you, right? But if you absorb and you mitigate, we have Mei, Soj, and Bap damage to force out a Sombra and force out a Tracer pretty damn quickly, right? It's a high possibility that Luna dinks Tracer and she dies, right? It's a high probability that if she hits the Sombra with a headshot, they're out, right? Or if not, 2 body shots for the same effect, right? Tech can spam them with the left click to make them really low and force a recall very quickly or translocate very quickly. And they're building up charge while doing damage to a very low HP target. There's a high chance that they can get a right click to finish it off before they can react with a recall or a translocate as well. It's a high chance of a pickoff. And BAP damage is ridiculously stupid and high anyways. So you can just get a pretty consistent force out of the opponent DPS anyways, because his accuracy can be like 50-60% or whatever. It's hit scan. It's pretty nice. You know, where these are a little bit projectile, so there's less reliability onto there. So you can reliably force out those types of squishies. Plus you have a boop, which can, like I said, fuck up the balls, at least the slam, if they're late reacting, or fuck up their engage altogether if they're really on point. And if they don't get a boop onto there, they get a boop onto a Tracer or Sombra while they're trying to get their clips out onto somebody, and mitigates like 50% of the damage or more instantly onto whatever target that they're going on, which is huge, right? And you have a lamp. It's completely okay to use lamp on a triple man engage. That is high value. It's the best time you're going to use it into a fight, and it fucks up their whole game plan. Because now Translocate's done, so they're whatever the fuck away from wherever they were engaging onto. So they're just completely out, right? Bye-bye. There goes the DPS, right? And then Ball will use his adaptive shield, right? So he's gone with that ability. You can't really do like a mega engage that lasts forever anymore. And now what do? With those 3 cooldowns gone, Recall, Adaptive Shield, and Translocator that you forced out and got them out of you within 3 or 4 seconds just using a lamp, a shift, maybe an ampule, you just can now hard sprint onto the supports. The one thing you have to worry about is Bull will probably get another swing in, but again, he can't do a massive sustained fight. Tracer can't go for a full engage without having a possibility of dying, right? And then other than that, they don't have slam again. They can't hack you immediately again. They can't all in one clip. They're completely neutered, all right? And then you can just sprint onto whatever the supports are with a Rein, a speed boost, a May, and they're just dead, right? And that's how you would theoretically take over that game and make it so that it's like impossible for them to do anything, all right? So barring them making mistakes, right, which you can win a lot of fights in this sort of scenario because it's a very, you know, hectic comp for them to run. They can make a lot of mistakes in many areas. Like, barring them making mistakes, that's how you win in this matchup. You guys are pretty good at sticking together and absorbing dives, absorbing their triple man engage, which is their entire comp is based around. And you can completely mitigate any sort of follow-up from the Zenyatta. So you neuter that engage. You also block packs for a little bit. So that's a little nice bonus. And she won't ever be in range to get her Inspire up. So they have really, really low heals, right? And then you're basically just winning a 3v5 absorb into killing supports, and now they're completely neutered. Because if they can't kill you with all 5 of them up, they're not going to kill you with no supports, right? And sure, one of you will die in some of their engages. But if you're pretty good on that absorption, as long as it's not BAP, that's the #1 key person to keep alive on the situation. If they use all their cooldowns to get a pick on, let's say, Sojourn, she's dead, or Lucio, they're dead, you can still run the same strat and get a high amount of value and fuck up their supports afterward, right? Yeah, you might not be as speedy, but you can still fuck them up, right? And you'll possibly have gotten a kill on Tracer, possibly could have gotten a kill on Sombra. And if you didn't, they can't really engage afterward, right? It's a nice way to neuter them. All right, so that's theoretically how you should play this. Just wanted to go over that. With things with Soj in the picture, depends if she's playing off angles or with the backline. She's playing with the backline. I don't think a smart ball Sombra team will be going for hard engages until you guys are sprinting onto that backline core, right? Because if they just go for an engage, all that has to be done is Rein shields forward, right? Then Sojourn and Zen just get nothing. While you guys are just, again, shifting, amp healing, making sure Sombra doesn't kill anybody on the follow-up, and you're just chilling, right? You're just chilling, and then you'll get to sprint onto them, right? So that's what they're trying to avoid. So you got to be careful, because just sprinting right onto them is when the ball's going to engage, and that's when Sombra's going to try and get a pick onto your backline. When your backline stays behind and the rest of them push forward, right? That's when they're going to go for a swing, slam, which is 150 damage if they get the swing into the slam. Good balls go for that. and they're going to be a hack target and a fuck ton of damage, right? So you don't just want to int into that. You still kind of want to play a way where you're forcing them off. The problem is that the shield will take a lot of damage if you're just sitting there in the open doing that and having a Soj and a Zen spam you off. Alright, so you got to be careful for that. And then if there's a Sojourn on the side, like a flank angle, to deal with that, I'm thinking of just Rein shield turning and Soj spamming off, but then you got to be careful for the Zen on the side going in for a lot of that damage as well, right? So I feel like for that scenario, it's got to be Soj and Mei spamming back at their Soj to get rid of that off angle, and their Zen to get rid of that pressure, right? While you guys are out of fight. It's got to be heavy if they ever show their face, spamming into them, right? And everyone playing a little bit of chill hard cover while Rein is pushing the point, right? And you guys have a lot more heals too and a lot more resources, so you can take those trades better. And then again, it's when you see ball go in and you hear Sombra go in, play chill, Rein, mitigate one of those angles, Zen or Sojourn, whichever one you feel is going to be more deadly. Sojourn's ulting, definitely her, right? Mei, try and get one as well if you can. Just the wall off, right? And just keep your team safe. Get the ball out, get the Sombra out, and then you can 100% focus on either just pushing the point forward, or if one of those off angles is decently close, trying to push onto that. Okay? Because Adaptive Shield's gone and Sombra's out. Okay? So this is heavily a matchup that's going to be punishing your aggression if you don't force out any of these major cooldowns yet. Because it's heavy disruption, so that play will fail, and those squishies will be in a really, really, really bad spot if you just go for it. Okay? I know it's like the intuitive play is, oh, we can run on them and they'll just die, but that's not the case against a good ball or a decent Sombra. Say decent Sombra because there's almost no real good Sombras. And you see, there's a little bit of shade of that in this fight. You see how, like, when you guys sprint in, Tin is alone. Like I said, he's not going to want to sprint into there. It's really dangerous for him. And that's something that he has to be aware of too. Is like, you don't want to be too afraid to follow with your team. You obviously don't want to be inting in melee range, right? Because especially if you get swing and slammed onto there, you're fucked. But you do kind of want to stay decently around your Rein and put your body in line with him and the opponents, so that anything that gets oncoming onto him does not hit you. You know? You're using him basically as your cover. I'm talking about his body, not his shield, because if you're playing onto the side, second he throws a fire strike or drops shield to swing, you can get fucked. Right? And so it's easy to do in a hallway situation like this, and you should follow up onto here so that you don't be so vulnerable out in the open that you just get double engaged on. Right? But in other situations, you don't want to be putting hard cover between you and your teammates, right? Like where if Rein pushes up forward, you don't want to be playing here, right? Because then he could be pushed back or engaged on without any sort of team intervention, right? So you want to be pushed up a little bit, but you do have to be playing cover for the opponents, right? So staying away where your team can see you, but the enemy can't most of the time, right? Because you are #1 kill priority. Second you're done, team's done, right? The only time they will go for tech is if tech gets aggressive with a slide in, and they're like, oh fuck, kill him, right? If it's a choice between him and you, and you're next to each other, always going to be you. Forces lamp out earlier, forces shift out earlier, possibly gets a kill on the person that makes this team sustain, you know, right? And then any fight afterward, when you're done, easy. Very, very easy for them. So that's what you've got to not work on, but watch out for and play around. Yeah. Tin's behind. If Sama was there, ouchies. Dead. So that's what they're looking for, and how you guys are trying to look. Not trying to look. That's how you guys are trying to play. Okay? Hardcore absorption. Tin can play in here too, because anything that's like an enclosed rooftop space, it's gonna be hard for the ball to get like a perfect engage on. He doesn't want to stay in there though after they get like poised and ready, because then they could just be like, fuck it, ball roll through and then have some team follow up onto it. Right? If he has Rein there, absolutely he can stay in there. And you guys can all brawl in there and just have a lamp down and just smack, smack, smack. The good boop away. Pressure onto there. Fortunately, how did that happen? I'm not sure what led to this. Orbs into that. I don't like that you're playing split in the first place, though. I know you're probably chasing after Sombra and you're trying to look for Translocator and just force her out. But you're playing in a place where there's zero team intervention, right? If you get pressured or you get focused out, or even if you just get spammed like this, let's say Sombra doesn't follow up. Oop, need to put my thing on. Let's say Sombra doesn't follow up. Wow, that's cool. I've never seen it just turn into that. Okay. One more time here. Sombra doesn't follow up. You're this HP. Now either Tin has to run over to get a heal onto you, or hold further onto here, and then you have to peek out again into that sight line where if somebody's down here, they can shoot you. Or you have to try and get lucky and go through here and not get attacked. You have to cross this sort of sight line at some point to get some assistance from your team, and it's just not good, right? So, and especially as Mei, like you're like a very, very good deterrent and anti-dive onto the ball. You're a very, very good deterrent onto Sombra for the right-click headshots on her engage. I'd rather you just stick in with team and focus on preventing those when they engage, right? And even just like your right-clicks are really, really good pressure from far range too, right? Like you can treat yourself as like a mini Hanzo in this instance, just because of the fact that like they don't have a shield, and one of their squishies, if you headshot them, has to immediately leave the fight, right? So I'd rather you just get a bunch of uptype onto that, playing with your team, so that when you do take damage, you get just immediately hit with a heal nade instead of just anti-LOSing team in this location. Anyways, I don't think it's good. Okay. I don't think it's worth a Sombra push out. You do get a good punishment on the ball. Okay. I was gonna say, with ball dead, I know where Sombra is. I do think that this is kind of a moment where you guys should take that advantage and push in with Rein Shield and speed. Your main worry is that Sojourn gets some decent damage onto somebody, or Zen gets like a nice like right click angle on through here, and then a squishy gets low and then Sombra can follow up, right? That's your main fear. But those are pretty like small instances that could be mitigated, like front line shield for the Soj damage while the team's playing close. There goes that. And then people have to be cognizant when they're in this area that Zen could be there, and they need to just play off the sides, right? And just don't walk through if you hear the right click charge. Peek into it for a second just to make sure he's not there immediately shooting, and then you just go. You go and you just take the space. Once her shift is down, you can just run at them. Run at all of them. They're probably going to converge here and group up together and try and kite out. And she's going to use her dash to get there. Brig might use shield best to get there, but Zen has to also move slowly. So you guys can just converge and fuck them. If they do play Soja on this side, Zen on this side with Brig, that's the more scary one. Or Brig Zen sticking together and Soj playing on the side for damage, that's a scary one. Because then if you run through, you're turning your back on one of them. And you don't want to do that as Reinhardt. You don't want to put your team in a position where, like, if you turn this way, now it's Squishy's getting killed by this person, right? And they have a chance to turn the fight around. Because it's a 5v... it's not a 5v4. It's a 4v4. So it's still pretty even. Probably the best way to take this then, now that I'm thinking about it, it would be push them forward She dashes out. And then I think with Bap, Soj, you guys try and push in with Lamp. Like, don't be afraid to use Lamp onto here in your duel. You push them out, or you kill the Zen on this on the, like just on its own. And then it kind of just forces them into the Reinhardt. Alright? So you just get rid of them having that potential to crossfire you. And have your Rein turn in whatever direction and the other side kills the squishy. Right? That's the way that you lose. You know? So when you have this advantage with that shield, you really want to push with it, fuck them up. And then, again, you have Lamp. If Lamp is used to force them into a position where they're going to die and they have no advantage, right? And push it into a space where you have a Rein swinging and 2 damage follow-up, that's completely fucking worth it. It doesn't need to be used just defensively, right? You're just going to run through. You know he's going to 5 orbs. You could even, like, preemptively just Lamp here, take this duel, and then afterwards, once you're, like, low HP, if they're like trying to stay and kill Lamp, you just shift early and you should still win that engage with you 2 worth of damage. And then that would force them out again into the Rein and kill. But if they don't, then your Rein can just rush in from behind because then your squishies are in this enclosed area and Soldier's already pushed out. Okay? It's hard to like think this in depth when you're playing, and I know that. So just think, push out pressure. Oh shit, there's a side angle, they can kill us. We need to push them out into the other angle. Right? Push them out into the other angle or pincer them. Right? And the main thing you gotta be careful of is if you are a squishy, you do not want to just gung-ho, just wide peek them and just take that 50-50 fight. Because you taking that 50-50 fight is getting rid of your like 60% or like 70% win play from this push, Lamp, and fighting. Okay? So, you don't want to take a 50 because you just gave them plus 10% to 20% chance of winning the fight that they didn't have before. Alright? And they are already converging, which is great. Now Zen is playing at this solo angle here on the side. This is definitely when you want your Rein pushing forward. Not that diagonal. About like this diagonal, so he's still not getting hit by the Zen, but he's allowing people to walk forward past this window once you like get a little bit more damage out, and then you isolate the Zen. Once you isolate the Zen, you don't want to just turn your back and get shot by him too, right? You kind of just want to, again, play chill a little bit, cut him off a little bit, you know? Maybe go a little bit further back so you're blocking his damage too, right? And you're just playing chill. Letting your team take as much time as they need to remove this. Because again, you don't want to just all in and then have a dual 50-50, right? Where they could, even with, if they're holding a right click and expecting you guys to, it's actually probably a 60 in terms of the Zen if it's like just Soj running in or just Bap running in, right? So if you just hold the shield here, what they can do is they can play kind of against him, right? So they can get some damage out. As long as they don't get 5-orbed or like triple headshot with a 3-orb, right? If they take damage, it's fine. Because they can walk back a little bit, but Zen can't walk forward without getting hit by a window and other people, right, that are behind this Rein shield. So you essentially get 2-3 chances as Sojourn here, or as Bap if you walk forward, to duel this guy while having resets, and he can't really have a reset. And the only thing that he'll get is a little bit of an armor pack, right? He's still isolated and he can't disengage while you can, right? And if you guys take 3 50s with chances to reset, you have a much higher chance of coming out of this victorious than just the first 50, right? And you kill him, that's huge value, right? Killing him here is a stagger that gets the cart guaranteed onto this, at least, and probably at least around here by the time that they restun and get a little bit more forward, just because of the time it takes for this thing to actually move again. And then with him being dead, and Ball's still respawning, Ball might come back a little bit soon. Yeah, he'll probably come back by the time he's dead, but then they are immediately at a numbers disadvantage. You probably have May around here, getting ready to reinforce, and you're just playing keep away. Right, you're playing keep away on a Sombra and Ball engage once you know that Ball's back. Surviving a 4v2, as you should, with, again, just Rein shielding the forward. Or the Sojourn in this case. You don't have to even care about what the Brig is doing. You survive that, and then you get to push again. Right? And if the Ball isn't back in time by the time that you kill the Zen, hey, run forward, take some space, try and kill these two. You can definitely kill the Brig if they don't dash away. But if not, you just took this much map space, they're all the way back. Right? They're probably playing in this area or by the cars and the pole while they're respawning. And you guys have this whole street chilling. And you're fine. Easy peasy. You know? Yeah, you know. First out here. See, we did kind of devolve into 50-50s. Right? Tech is going for this hard 50-50. And I don't like it. Because of the fact that BAP is getting engaged here, is using Lamp, and we're peeling for him. Those happening at the same time is bad. Because what happens if the Zen is good, he is holding his right click, and Tech is playing that aggressively into him. Yeah, he doesn't have follow-up, but you're not really assisting this fight either, right? Like, you're assisting this part, but you're not actually helping the kill part. So it is a pure 1v1 here, right? Well, they're both full HP. If Tech dies there, now you're pincered, and your supports are busy. Right? Because he has a high chance of dying here because BAP is engaging. Right? If Tech hears that Tin's getting engaged on, Tin says that there's a Sombra on him, this is when you guys should play back a little bit and play chillin' a little bit. Right? You play chillin' until that threat is gone. It's called absorbing. You take what they're attacking with, you take their little engage. You use mitigation with your position to not let them get anything off of it, right? You're not going to kill the Reinhardt. You're not going to kill the Sojourn. They're playing chill, right? Until that threat is dealt with. And then once that threat is dealt with, they just lost the player in the fight, right? They just lost the player in that entire thing, and they lost their only flank pressure. So their highest chance of winning the fight or getting a kill is just gone, right? So you hear that they're getting engaged on, you back up a little bit, play a little bit safer, right? Don't let any sort of pincer action go on. Tech, you don't take that 1v1 yet. You wait. Then BAP is chilling, healed back up. They can hard peek, and they can help you in that fight, right? And they can help Chris in case he does get pincered when he's pushing up to help that, right? And you're getting heals in that 1v1. So instead of it, again, being a 50, it's more like a 60 to 70. Right? Possibly even higher in most situations, but because the Zen, you know, they always have that instant kill potential. Okay? So yeah. Just be a little bit careful when your teammates are dealing with something like that, especially when it's your supports. Because you see, like, to drag this out, or like to end it from affecting your team, you need to have both supports on it. Right? Because Tech isn't affecting that, and Rein isn't affecting it. It has to be both supports to make that a 2v1 and keep it alive. So you just have nothing. You guys are basically taking a 2v3 up here where they have a crossfire. That's bad. You know, luckily Tech won the 1v1, but you don't want to rely on that, right? When you could have had support. There's that sideswipe there too. How low is your shield when you drop? That's probably decently low. I just want to see. Yeah, 272. Okay. Yeah, so I understand why we're not taking space. And I hope that's communicated. Like, I have no shield. The second that you have your health back up, I would say push forward. I don't like that we are playing that soft. And what I mean by soft is the fact that we have a decent amount of resources and health, right? Like, your shield's gone, but you have a decent amount of health. Healthy, and healthy, all chilling in a place with decent space, and they just gave you a free person in melee range, and we're playing chill and like, let's just let tech deal with it. I don't want to get pressured. I'm scared of an engage. Let's run away. I don't like that. Soji's not ulting, right? Their ball, yes, he can have a swing and slam engage, but again, you guys are all healthy. The only thing you don't have is Lamp, which as long as he's playing around this corner is chill. They should be playing this corner, peeking a little bit, while Rein is pushing forward and trying to kill onto this Brigitte. Because look how close you guys were. This is a feat. Look at this. That should be death. That should be speed, swing, and with the swing, maybe a swing fire strike. They should be dead with any sort of follow-up damage. Because they just used their one mobility cooldown. They just used their mobility cooldown. And now they have to walk all the way through this open-ass area with no fucking cover. Right? To get to pull. Or get to here, which you guys could still follow up with if they go there. So it's probably not even an option. I don't like that at all. I know you don't have shield. Yes, you will take damage from Sojourn, but you still have some shield, and it will be recharging when you're walking up here and smacking. Tin will be healing you, right? Star could switch to heal and some amp in case you are low, and you'll be fine. And you could smack up, and once you get to like that HP, probably around here, then you could flicker shield up again, get some heals, while you're still walking forward that whole time against her, and then smack again. And she was like, this is just a free kill. And the reason you can do that is because you guys just force out their Sombra, so you're chilling, right? Sure, she's around that area, but by the time that she like gets in behind, gets a hack, and really pressures somebody, you guys should already have a smack on her, and probably a smack fire strike, some Soj damage on the side, and you're chilling. And if their ball engages to stop it, you guys, again, shift, heal aura, a little bit of boops, and shield up forward. No Sojourn follow-up because shield forward, right? And if you're walking back afterwards, because you can get all booped back here. The only problem child is Sama coming into the side, which you have Soj damage to deal with, a boop away possibly if they don't boop the ball, and 10 damage, right? While you guys are being shift healed and aura healed. You guys will be fine, okay? But if you back up here, you're allowing the Sombra to get more in position onto the map optimally. You're allowing them to get this part of the map forward, and you're allowing Ball to get an actual setup play that isn't just a mitigation forward roll. Right? You're allowing them to get a pincer onto your BAP to start, and then Sojourn will get enough space to be able to either go up here and follow up onto it, or shift across into the open and try and get some follow up onto it while they're onto your Baptiste. So I don't like that play. I don't like the passivity of it. Thank God Tech got the damage. And I don't even think her shield right now. I think that was her problem. I think she just played really, really bad. Yeah, she should just be holding right click. I don't know why she's not shielding at all. So yeah, that's why I want you to walk up and swing on that. Because of shield. Makes it so that Tech can't follow up. Guaranteed. And again, they fuck up, whatever. Them fucking up is not a win condition. That is oops. You know? Good counter hack onto that ball. Because that was almost a pretty decent engage onto the Baptiste. And the problem with you swinging onto ball is that sure, you'll get like 85 damage every half second. But what you're doing is you're essentially saying, hey, Sojourn, you get to follow up onto this. Right? You're making it so that it goes from 1 DPS and 1 tank engage to guaranteed 2 DPS follow-up onto a slam from 2 different angles. And Tin's not a god who can dodge both of those angles and both of that burst damage at the same time. No one is, right? Especially with a ball slam and him probably trying to shoot too. So it's actually better for you not to swing into this and just keep whoever they're slamming up protected. Okay? Mostly from the Sojourn. Because while they both do a little bit of damage with their left click, and Sombra will probably do more damage with their left click in the beginning, you're really trying to stop the kill confirm hit scan right click. Right? That's what'll fuck you in a lot of these engages against better teams. So definitely I think it's higher value just to shield back. And even just put your body inside of him, or like, you know, mother hen him like you were in Orisa and Bongo back when that existed. And just mask his entire hitbox with your body. You know? And then you're making so that, one, he can't miss healing you. Pog for you. And two, you're making all the damage go to the biggest health pool with the most mitigation. And keeping the one who could heal that and the core of your team's survivability alive for free. Right? So all you would do is you see a ball engaging. You jump back. You can honestly try and shield his slam too, which is really fucking awesome if you do that, right? Then their whole engage sucks. But if you can't do that, it's hard to react to in some of the times. Then you're getting just mitigation from any follow-up onto a Soj. And if you're masking their hitbox and also backing up to where two of them are blocked, right? Like you can block Sojourn if she's main, and like Ball if he's like sitting here, right? You can do both of that while masking hitbox. Then you just literally made it so that none of them can get a dive target. And that's really, really fucking good for this matchup. You basically made it so that the entire reason they're running Ball has zero value. Right? And they're just fucked. Right? But swinging allows pick potential, and even him, like, he could just be like, fuck it, I'll just take a couple swings. Who gives a shit? And he'll just get out of ball form and start shooting as well. And that's 3 damage sources onto a squishy after a slam engage. Not here because he got hacked, but in most occasions where it doesn't happen. Okay? Because, like, playing Rein against Ball is not fun. Playing the mobile squishies against Ball is not fun. And see, they actually did get it. But I'm not in favor of just being like, oh, the comp isn't optimal, so let's not run the comp. I'm trying to tell you, no matter what comp you're running, as long as you know how to counter what is being played against you, and your comp isn't just mega stupidly unviable, right? If it's just like a decent archetype that exists in the game, you'll find a lot of success until you reach like fucking top owl teams, top contenders teams will really comp potential and matchup completely fuck you. It's really knowing how to play the comps into each other and how to mitigate shit that will get you wins.
This ends now. This ends now.
In fact, the team that masters the composition is more likely to win more matches than somebody or a team that tries to master all compositions by far. It's not even close. Look at avoided. I really don't need to talk about that once Tin dies. Because, like, even with them using ults and everything, let's be honest, you guys lost the second you had no heal potential for whatever they do next to you. Or do to you next. It doesn't matter. Lucio heals is not enough to sustain Reinhardt damage trades or Discord engage kills. So, back on a ball is just weird. Yeah, no, I don't like this. I would like it if your team is set up over onto here, right? And you think they're about to go in, and you cuck the engage while they're rolling up. Right? But even then, they're kind of feeding. And 2, that's not the situation at all. There's nobody on the team that Ball can engage right now. And that's the only time you would want to hack a Ball on the start, is to really stop his effect. And you're only hacking it for like a second, the abilities, right? If you're trying to farm off him, that's different. Like, I would say, because your team's playing really, like, chill when you started that. Like, they're a little bit further ahead now, but, like Ryan was right around here. And they're just playing chill, spamming. You could have actually just hacked, played against Bus so that nothing else sees you. and just spam him and possibly try to get your EMP earlier into the next fight. I'd say that would have been worth it to do it because you have some downtime here, right? And then you just tell your team, hey, wait. So like when you translocate out, when you get forced back, and you have like 90 something to EMP because you're playing against here, nothing else can shoot you, it's just ball versus you, right? Then you could just say, hey, wait, I translocated here, or whatever, I'm behind. And then your team just plays way far away from the point, gives it like this much fucking room while you're trying to get back into position, right? And doing whatever you gotta do to get into position. And then once you're chilling, then they walk up, and then you find your opportunity and you go. Okay? That's I feel a much more optimal way to play Sombra. Because you really don't want to waste your time and reveal your position early. You only want to hack in when your team is also going to be doing something to take eyes away from you so you can get an assassination, or so it's a target that they can follow up on. Anything other than that, you're just going to make them spy check more. You're going to get forced out early, and there's a very high chance that you get forced out 2 seconds before your team wants to engage. And then you translocate out while they're running in. And then it's just a 4v5 nightmare. And it just sucks. And I've been that Sombra. And I've been playing with that Sombra. And there's 0 occasions where it's fun. So don't do it. Just have your position where you haven't been caught yet. And you're around a place where you can get a hack in and wait. This is really weird. We're running this. Okay, we did get into position. Oh, that's horrible. This is horrible. Okay. Wait, why is tech here? What tech? We try to stay for an off angle? Don't like that. Oh, and then he walked out and tried to scam. No, I don't like that. Sure you lived, don't ever do this again. Don't ever. Just follow your team. You don't really need an off angle against this. In fact, off angles are more dangerous than regular angles. The one thing you can say is you're protected by the roof here for a Hammond engage, but in any other situation, and crossing to try and get into this fight, like you just did, is a recipe for hack, boop, or just straight damage in the 5 of them, right? And you have nothing your teammates can do to help you from like far range except for throwing a right click in as BAP, right? That's just death. Just play with your team and deal with the forward angle. And if you really want to get aggressive, when Rein pushes in really hard, you can go for a shift and a bit of a jump up off angle. Again, you got to be careful if these two didn't engage yet doing that, because you'll probably be the target. But at least that's reasonable and in front of your team who's behind the Reinhardt pushing in. And so if you go up and you fling up and you try and get some damage onto people, where you get a little bit of a side angle onto there, your back line can at least assist you. Right? They can shoot some shots at you. They could probably get into aura really quick as you and boot people off. And Reinhardt's also there in case you guys need to shield and back up for a second. Right? You're playing with a lot more resources on your team to help out. Right? And again, if they don't have a shield, there's really no reason to do this. Right? Like I get like, oh, but what if they're playing hard cover? It's like, well, you're playing Rein and you're running at the hard cover. Right? And you're also somebody who really helps with forcing out the Sombra when the engage comes in, or doing a lot of damage in the ball to get him out, right? So you're really important to your team too. So not very good plays for this, and that kind of does fuck us over as well, because we have very little damage follow-up onto this Shatter. It's just the Sombra. All right. Let me see what else happened. I'm wondering why he didn't just charge. Yeah, I'm really wondering why we didn't just charge and push that immediately. Because the fact that their team is like split a little bit when this happens. Like their ball's not here immediately. The worst that's going to happen is you charge, you get booped into this, it gets cut a little bit early, but then you're there faster and you get to smack them up, right? Which will help the fact that your Sombra's engaging as well. It makes it so that if she gets pressured, you kill them. If you get mega pressured, you shield back, she kills them, right? So I don't get why we didn't just do that. And also tech. Tin has to focus on peeling you instead of jumping and shooting the zealots on the ground too. So also stop that kill from happening. Which is extra yikes of that play. Okay. But yeah, again, you guys rushing forward is going to be responded to by swing slams, ults, and all that nonsense too. So when you get that slam, you try to pick it off as quickly as possible with your charge, with all your damage, whatever they're trying to do to attack into you. You kill that as fast as physically possible. And then again, you're switching to absorb mode. Because if you keep trying to go in, there's a ball in your back line that has just swung and slammed, right? And is trying to kill somebody. There's Sombra that's trying to kill somebody. It's get back and help. Get back and help, or cut off any sort of follow-up damage or follow-up heals or anything like that, right? While your team is using, you know, lamp, amp heal, boop aways, and then, you know, Soj damage or whatever the hell is going on back there. Just because, again, it's a two-man engage. Right? So yeah, you'll get the kill onto the Zenyatta. And if you keep going forward, it's a 4v5 where they have angles on the side of you. Right? And they're all spread, and it's hard to really get a uniform engage where they're not getting a fuck ton of pincer damage on your backline. But if you run back, it's 4v5 where you block the Sojourn damage. Brig's not in range to do anything to help out other than throw in packs. And then you're just getting two little fucking flies out of your backline. Two little pests that are trying to annoy you. And that's manageable. Right? Especially when everybody has a priority list of what to do. Right? Like, cut off Sojourn follow-up. Force out Sombra as quickly as possible, right? Boot back either Sombra or Ball. Use Lamp and Shift to keep yourself alive, right? And I keep switching back and forth. And Amp heals, right? You guys have that priority list. She'll probably be in the engage that happens, right? After that mitigation. So she probably really can't do much other than the second she translocates, get onto whatever mini you're next to and run back in, right? And try and help out as quickly as possible. Or set up for the follow-up engagement if you really feel confident that they can mitigate that. Again, with Sombra translocated and Ball no adaptive shield and you guys mitigated that engage, what do? They rely on the Sojourn pick. That's it. Right? So if you play with shield on Soj and you run forward after that's mitigated, you guys have enough time to heal while you guys are walking up with a shield in front, and you're chilling. And you get a free kill. Right? Whole composition is based around that, so play only around that. Not only, but massively around that. 80% of your gameplay has to be around that and understanding those little game states. The same thing for like a Winston dive. But a Winston dive. Where, use the draw function, stupid. It's where, let's say you guys are running this Rein core and you're pushing down the lane and they have supports back here and a Winston here. If Winston dives with a Sombra and a Tracer, sure, your guys' regular win condition is run onto the supports and kill them, right? Run on the supports and kill them. But if they start the dive before you can do that, everything's on mitigation, right? Because if you keep running forward, they just kill your whole backline and whatever they wanted to do that their comp's really effective at, you just let them do for free, right? Where if you, again, shield follow-up, use all of your support cooldowns to absorb that and get rid of their DPS, then even if you got one person down, jumps out, shields out, translocates you, so she's fucked off somewhere, right? Probably one of these three locations, right? If she's really aggressive like me, hee. And then translocates out, recalls out. What stops you from four-man rushing now, right? And maybe even following up onto the Winston because he has no shield, right? With speed. Follow up on the Winston, he dies, right? Unless he has primal. Fall up onto the supports if you can get onto them before just getting funneled the whole time. If not, you take point. You fuck with Tracer, you fuck with Winston, whatever you can. And you're just hoping to be able to get onto either of those. But if they're playing really, really, really well, they might just hard kite with that, right? But again, it's probably more likely that you guys do survive if you are using all of your support cooldowns correctly and your DPS are forcing out the people trying to get the kill on the main man. And this man says, fuck all follow-up, right? That's pretty damn good at stopping a 3-man engage, right? And especially good at stopping a 2-man engage. Now you guys are playing a defensive unit that cannot chase, so. Sheesh. How did this develop? I did not look at this the whole way through. So we drop. We are crossing into open. Shielding. Did we just solo EMP the Sombra? I don't likey. I don't likey. Let me see how he's got in position here.
They're about to take the lead from us. Translocator set.
I don't like this because we're trying to get into an angle down. Ooh, I keep forgetting to click the drawing. Sorry, just getting used to using a drawing tablet with all this stuff. Because we are going down the angle that is most likely to be spammed. Up window or down main. That is most likely to be spammed. This is only likely to be spammed if they are hardcore spy checking. Or if somebody else on your team is here. Right? I think another DPS is here, another support's here, or something like that. Or the tank even starts walking down here. I don't know why he would, but if he does, then they are, by proxy, triggering them to spam this location. And whenever you're running through a Sombra, you're trying to take the least spammable route to get in. And your team is in spawn. So when your team is in spawn and you're out, you've got to think, I've got a massive amount of time to get in position. So let me do the least likely to get spammed route. Either one of these two. And then I can get my perfect engage. Exactly what I want. Right? And for an EMP play, I am 100% in favor of you being chilling back here. Or chilling way back here. And you're like, oh, I can't get in position there without getting spammed or whatever. But we're about to engage. Hey guys, I'm going to translocate in an EMP. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Alright. 3, 2, 1, EMPing. And you guys are just hard amp speeding and just fucking whatever this massive 3 squishies is. Right? EMP is just, it should be treated as a, if I get a big amount of people in a place where my team can get onto, I win the fight. And that should be your entire game plan. It is that massive, right? Don't just solo EMP. Don't be like, oh, but I can't get in position with my invis. Translocate's worth it completely. And if you think that they have transcendence before you use it and you're trying to outplay that, throw translocate and hide so you don't get spammed immediately, so they don't just shoot exactly that location and reposition. And you can fake it, right? And you tell your team, I'm faking and trying to force trans. Right? As you're throwing it. I'm faking it. Don't engage. Don't engage. Right? They're playing chill. They're like, oh shit, they said don't engage. If they pop it, awesome. If they don't, oh well, you tried. Try to get the jump on him with a bit of a walk up from a different location. Again, difficult from that position. This is still probably the most likely, but if you threw translocate from there, they're probably going to spam it. All right? But these are things that you got to look for. All right? You never just want to be like, running through the main area of where they're going to be looking and where the cart's going, right? Or where your team engages from. Just never, all right? Always take an alternate route when you're ahead. Only time that you want to do that is like their team isn't even at this part of the map yet, right? Like their team is over here, sure, drop down, but then look for an alternate route, okay? Always. Because you will get spy checked and you will bump into people and you're going to get really mad. And it sucks. That is
later.
ambitious.
Get back.
God, they are so bad. The fact that they almost let that happen with the break pack right there. Like, do a human benchmark. Look at your reaction time. It's faster than that pack. It's way faster than that pack. That's bad on their end. All right, and even look how long it took for Sojourn to react.
Get back.
Like, huh? Almost like a full second. Like, that's crazy.
Catch you later.
All right, don't go for that because of that reasons. They all fucked up there. They all fucked up. No orb, no pack in time, no turn and counter movement and shooting back at you in time to pressure that. And you still didn't get it. That's just dumb. Don't do it. You have full charge, so all you're doing is you're charging supports, and you're like, hey, there's like a 5% chance I get away with this pick. And you're just wasting time. Now your team is getting up here. These aren't, but they're slowpokes. But in other situations, let's say your team was like here when you started doing that, your team gets out to this location. Now the time you have to take to get down an alternate route is longer than it takes for your team to be in position to try and engage. And then there will cause some natural desync there, and your team will want to go when you're not ready. Right? Or they'll be poking out, and then your enemy team is getting ready for an engage. The more they see people posturing, and the more they get damage trades, they're getting in better positions and better positions and better positions for the fight. All right? And trying to surround. Okay? But if you just are like, hey, I'm going around the alternate spot, I'm getting behind my optimal location behind the opponents and into their back line. Not close to them because you don't want to be hit in proximity. You want to be like here while your team's pushing up. Like, hey, you guys ready? Okay, I'm walking in. And you do your 3-2-1 EMP. Alright? Easy peasy. And then you become a god, and everyone sings your praises. And like, oh my god, it was the most massive EMP ever. And then you get like 3 clips in the fucking Discord from 3 different people because they're so hype. Okay?
Apagando las luces.
I honestly think too, this is probably just, you got bumped. Yeah, bumped, and you're like, okay, we can punish them because Chris is here. But miscommunication, they also have Mini onto here, and your team's already pushing out, so if he did turn onto here, bye-bye tech. Right? And that's not worth it. Right? Because then they still have their core, and you guys don't have a good engage. Ball got his stuff in, and you got a Sombra for your Sojourn. Second, you're forced out after that play too, then they have a 4v3. Not very Gosu. Scuffed engage, but we did make it work. There was a very, very high amount of downtime onto there. Which I did not enjoy. Tech 1 HP again. How did you take that fight too? That was a little weird. I do want to see that drop timing. Ooh. Probably a reaction to the Sombra call.
Hey.
I guess you kind of don't really have a better time. I was thinking like maybe waiting for Rein to get into melee range on here. Because like you guys should be, as a game planned, focused on fucking that corner. Right? That's their immobile core. Walking onto here gives a back angle onto you. So you just can't do it. And you're engaging onto a ball or a Sombra. So it's just not good. Right? You're just giving so much damage of their team and so much pick potential onto your back. No. Right? So it has to be them. And they're the most likely people to get killed. And the only people to consistently engage on. So it has to be around this. Right? So there shouldn't even be this walkthrough. Right? There just shouldn't be. You guys should know. We should have called, like, especially after like the Samba shot and all that. They're on the left side. You guys saw them pushing up onto here. Right? And the second you drop, you see them over here. Right? So it should be trying to move over here and just being careful of the ball engage that's going to happen. Because you're going to be ball engaged into their sightlines, which is the worst. It sucks. Right? And that's really when the shield has to come in clutch. Right? And that's really when the BAP has to come in clutch with his heals, in case he's not the switch getting engaged on. If he is, he needs to be on point with his E and shift. Right? And everybody has to play their keep away game. right? Or if this was optimal, like we said, Luna would be on the side, on the back, and then being ready for a Translocator EMP. I would say, Luna, it's probably you felt pressured because the Rein dropped and you got seen, like you got tapped onto here, and you're like, fuck, now I can't get an EMP while they're up here. I would think it's honestly kind of better to play, wait, chill, back, I got seen. You translocate out, and you guys are running back. Like you shift back, you Rein shield back, and give space. Because again, you can probably mitigate whatever engage they do onto you here, just because of how far you are. So Sojourn left click's harder to hit, Zen Orb's harder to hit, shield forward on both of their angles, right? And you guys can just chill and wait for Luna to go around the side. Or again, just play forward, like play up here, and then go for a translocate engage, right? Something like that. It might just be better. Because again, this is like an instant fight win if you use it correctly. But even if it's not perfect, you guys should be focused on walking over here and getting this damage. Which you eventually do. But I just don't like the fact that we walk out further onto the ball here. We did recognize it, but it was just like a very sloppy engage where we didn't set up our comp correctly for it. Alright, both are up there, that's good. You definitely want to stick with each other, repeal. Just chillin'. We are kind of running up a little far. Let me see the timing, actually. No, that is good. That's fine. Luna's in position by the time you turn corner. I thought you turned corner and we're starting to push up street before they got there, but that's fine. That's fine. Good assassination. Now here's again where we have to be focused on chilling and peeling. I don't like the all in because Tin dies, we die. Brig gets killed, so it is kind of even. We are all on different targets. Sojourn should definitely be the target here. What happened to Luna? Just get forced out? Yeah, I just got forced out. It is a little sloppy, again, because if Tin dies, it's just fucking death. Let me see how they played that too. Yeah, it just got hard engaged. It is difficult. Now that is one of the situations where you're like, but we have a Sombra in the back, can't we hard engage? Remember what I said about like getting your pick and then playing Absorb? This is the reason. Because if you take your Sombra engage and rush forward versus their Sombra engage with ball, who's more likely to get a kill on the backline faster? It's the Sombra and the ball. Right? They're way more likely, especially if your team isn't fully focused on mitigating it. Now, when the teams are on top of each other and already meleeing and all that stuff, like let's say you're already meleeing them and then they do the engage, then yeah, you guys are probably even on that. Right? But that isn't the case in most situations. Most of the time it's like you're set up to go, they're set up to go, they're going to get it faster. Right? So if it comes down to the point where you're both are ready to go and they go, absorb. Absorb. And Tin, I would say again, play closer to team. Just play closer to team, play closer to team. Right? The fact that you're further back on here, I know it sounds like playing further back means you're safer. It doesn't. Not in this composition. Right? It just means the further they could split you and the easier they can kill you without Rein being able to help you. Right? And that was part of what this issue was. You're so far back and then you got extra pushed far back because they engaged from that angle. And now there's nothing he can do to help you. Tech isn't looking to help you either. And Tech is a big part of helping you get out of there because they need to force out Sombra. Right? And then it's just fucked. Right? It's just all fucked from then on out. So you do have to be playing closer. Yeah. There we go. And I don't care if all 4 of you get slammed. I don't care if all 4 of you get swing slammed. So if all 4 of you get swing slammed, your E is on the ground already. You're chilling. Once your E is there and they've used their slam and they're engaging, they don't win. Right? They don't win as long as Chris's shield is forward and cutting off the Sojourn. Right? And I think you can agree on that. If they're cutting off the Sojourn, really the only thing that could happen is if Zen was like fucking off angling and gets like a crazy like right click on one of you guys while the engage is happening. Because you guys you're Eing the burst, you're shifting during the burst, you're heal amping during the burst, so it's going to heal more than the damage that's coming in. You can't get below a certain threshold. They have to take extra time to shoot that lamp, and the time it takes for them to engage on you, kill the lamp, then burst through your shift and amp heal is enough time for you guys to shoot back and force those 2 out. Okay? Just 100% of the time. Okay, 100% should never be said. 85% of the time, you should be good. All right? Yeah. And another point too is the fact that like if you guys have an even trade, they have the more self-sustaining characters that don't require as much heals. Like Rein requires heals because he'll just be like swinging forward and doing whatever's nonsense. While Ball will just go to a mega real quick and fly back in and be a nuisance and be able to get back out. And he could get his shield cooldown in time because we're talking about after first engage and some time goes by where you guys have all traded. They're re-engaged in the fight afterward. A Ball team wins that more than a Rein team does. Unless they're being stupid and just trading in front of the shield the whole time, which they won't be. They'll be swinging back in and fucking around. Alright, bye-bye. Yeah, but no engaging there anymore. That's kind of unfortunate. I wonder what the rest of the team was focused on. That's Sombra v Sombra here. Which I feel like at this point with the mines in there, you just sort of give it. And you just give it in turn. Especially with like the ball being charged. Like I'm pretty sure Chris would probably be calling that. If not, and he wasn't, oh well. Then, you know, no blame for like that sort of turn or not. I do feel like though, once that is mined, sort of just chill. You kind of are spamming her out, but like I don't think it's that big of a deal compared to like this fun fight that's going on, and you really can't fight in there, right? So I'm probably just gonna be chilling. Then you have the Mega though. I don't know. That's like a 50-50 in my mind. It's not bad. It's not good. With the charge, it's kind of bad, but again, that depends on like if that was called or not. How do we not have enough damage volume? Tech switch. Don't switch the Brig up here, Tech. She is not that much value. She will shield, and you're not going to kill her onto this. Right? The ball follow-up after a pin, I think, is way more important. Will you probably get the kill? Probably not. Will you get him down to a third or less, and then force him out, and when he comes back in, he's not full HP, or it takes them a lot longer time with their healers to bring them back up to have more uptime in the rest of the fight? Yeah. We'll make him have to maybe even go to 2 different health kits and just be completely out while you guys take this whole street? Yeah, I think it does. And you also get a chance to see the Sojourn and say hi while your Rein is pressuring them and pushing forward. And that's just unfortunate. Tried to shatter to get extra follow-up on the ball and it just didn't work out. It's okay. We did turn around to the ball and hack eventually, so that's good. Little aggressive. Everyone has to be on Soj. Everyone has to be on Soj when she shows her face. In this instance, everyone should be screaming Soj. Again, Sombra isn't somebody you really care about unless she's in your team and about to hack. Right? Okay, let me put a clarification on that. If this was nothing else is happening, no other trade is really going on, or no other sort of engage is going on, nobody who's like peeked out, no ball that's in, no anything else, then this doesn't matter. Right? Tech, you just leave her. She's out of the fight. Kill everybody else. Do damage to everybody else. Force them out so that if she does actually come in, she's just like Luna's engaged into the whole team. They'll get forced out. As long as you guys are paying attention and have a decent reaction time, they're going to get forced out before killing anybody. It's fine. But again, if nothing else is happening, yeah, sure, fuck with her. Right? Try and fuck with her, fuck with entrances she might be going through, but otherwise than that, she's just going to invis, she's just going to go away, she'll translocate out, she'll fucking just get her shit done. You know, it's fine. I'd rather you guys focus on whatever else is in front of you or a threat in that moment. Alright. Again, we do turn on to, but it's got to be like clean. We just let her go. I don't like that. What's heck? Why are you turning? Why are you turning there? Ball's already not like re-engaging. Right? The person who is dangerous was the Sojourn. And you guys already got an engage on her and she's half HP. Do you have some charge on you too? No, no charge. That might be why you're thinking no. I feel like you guys should chase her down and fuck with her. Right? A Lucio and a Soj. She's got really no place to go through without being able to be followed up on. She's already half. You just fuck with her. You try and get a kill off of that, right? You try and confirm that. You get a kill onto her, the rest of this fight's done. Completely done. You know? You don't get a kill onto her. She chills while the team's coming back. She has a small bit of an off angle with their supports. Samba will be ready to re-engage and a ball gets a slam, and that's kind of annoying as hell. We could just kill her off right now. She would fucked up her slide jump. Luckily ball's feeding. I don't like that. I don't like keeping Soja alive because it gives you another chance to try and get a kill later. Like onto you right now. The Oracle speaks. I didn't predict exactly how it was going to go because I kind of thought she wouldn't be so stupid to not try and get health before she does it, but that's again part of the risk. You know, she's an instant killer. You really don't want to let her just have her free roam. Not an instant killer, but a high pick potential character. It's the best way to describe it. Hard EMP, good counter EMP, good lamp. That's fine by me. Lamp was huge. Alright, anytime you hear that ult, it should be 100% every single person alive is shooting her. Do not let her just roll your team. I don't care that a Brig was possibly going to die in Rally. I don't care. A Sojourn ulting is higher priority than that. It's higher priority than almost anything in the game. If you have watched a single Sojourn in Owl, you know exactly why. If you have played comp, you know exactly why. You just don't let this thing get value. It's like letting a soldier with visor on a flank of all your squishies just live. You're like, alright, well, he's doing that. Let's go kill something else. It's like, no. You all turn and you all try to instant kill him or do as much damage as physically possible and trade him out. You know, she doesn't get a health bonus. She doesn't get damage reduction bonus. And she's probably going to over-aggress anyways because she wants to get hard picks. Alright, so she's going to put herself out into the open or at least aggressive on whatever angle she's holding. She doesn't have damage reduction, so she's still a 200 HP squishy character that can get bursted. Right? And if you don't do this, you don't shoot her, it's basically like letting a Bastion in turret form wide peek everybody and not killing him and not shooting him or not mitigating him. Right? It's more damage potential than anybody else in the entire game and the quickest kills in the entire game possible right now. Like, nothing else will equal out whatever you're doing. It takes like 3 people shooting someone perfectly to match what she will do to somebody in a millisecond. Okay? So she is #1 priority. You listen to where she popped it, you look where that is, and you all try to fuck her up. Alright? If you're all behind cover, yes, play behind cover. But 90% of the time when she pops that, it's not going to be the case. Right? And you guys have people in the open, so you all fuck her. Alright? And I guarantee if you all turn on her, if Luna shoots them from behind, if Rein sprints up to them and starts shooting them out, you're all trying to dodge the headshot. Right? Bap really can't help out. You have a decent chance. If one swing hits her, you have a chance of killing her in this. Before she gets 1 pick, maybe not. But when she gets 1 pick, probably. She just used her 1 like movement cooldown in. You guys got that. I believe in you. And even if this situation sucks, you want it to be drilled into your head that you turn onto that. Because if you don't deal with this, what's your chance of winning the fight? 5%. Very bad 5. Very, very bad 5. Let me redo that. 5%. If you don't kill that. If you kill that, what's your chances? 30. 30 plus, I'd say. So, 25% higher chance of winning the fight? Go for that. Anything else that's better? No. If you kill the brig that's rallying, 6%. Because she's still probably going to get 2 or 3 people in the back. Right? Or at least put you so low in the front line that you're fucked right afterward. Right? You're not going to win that.
Hello.
There's a lot of teams that win 30%. A lot of teams win 30%.
Team kill.
No, that's time 33%, which it could have been. It's kind of close. Time 33%. 1 every 3 bad fights, you're just gonna win. You know. We talk about 1/3. How influential is that? 3rd in the map, 3rd in the map, 3rd in the map. Get that in your head. It's pretty damn nice. You will win more games. And that's what we're here for. We don't want to be losers. Fuck losers.
This ends now.
Timing seems a little weird. I want to see it.
Area
So
denied.
now that they're up there.
This ends now.
Yeah, that's assuming that they're just gonna stay in hallway. Which they're a smart team, they didn't. They got no cover. Pushing out.
Not so fast.
See, that's weird to me, Tech. The amount of
This
times you play
ends
really,
now.
really, really, really goddamn aggressive and fly in outside of ult all the time. And then when you have ult, it's very, very passive chilling. I guess you're afraid of what I'm telling them, like you guys to do, happening to you, which I guess makes sense. But I'd say you can definitely go for a jump over after this trans, try and get a headshot, try and possibly kill somebody out, like Soj. And you just run the floor,
Not so fast.
playing real passive with it. You got like 2 shots from your ult. It's a little early on assumption, so I don't like that. It's not the worst. I understand why. But obviously it wasn't great. And we just hit trans and kited. Anything we could have done with trans? Up. Let me see.
This ends now.
Let me see. Not engaging. Trans up. Really? Oh, yeah, no, the charge was a bad idea. You want to give them time. Give them some time on this. Yes, they're pushing cart. You do want to give them some time. Unless you guys are just calling hard reset, which if you are, fantastic play. If not, I feel like you guys still have a chance with having 10 up here, Soch here, and you have squishies out in the open onto here. Again, you can play aggressive, no charge. You can play aggressive pushing forward, jump shielding if you want to really get close enough to like swing up. But give them some time to get some damage out onto these squishies, and you possibly have a chance to make this a 4v4. And you can kill them off after that. Because Zen almost died, and possibly would have died if you're forward pushing these guys out, while Zen pushes on the corner, Soj goes in. It's a lot better without having the, you know, the Sombra there and the ball there on the side. Still a chance for that.
That's not right.
And not a small one, because it's like your risk of dying there, like your squishies dying there, the risk is like basically 0. If Sombra was completely Sombra, else ball's not in like a decent position for them, and they're playing on high ground. On bus and bridge. Pretty chillin'. And gets fucked in front line. I thought we had a decent chance. Oh no, they got hacked. Yeah, no way to get out of there. No lamp. It's the hard stagger. Alright, you guys did attempt a get out or die situation. I do feel like if you're behind them on the map, it should just be a die on cart situation most of the time. Because they won't let you do that. They kind of let you get way further than I expected. But I would say, generally, if you're on their half where you have to run through a decent amount of their territory and their map space to get out, it's probably just a higher chance to just die on cart and just give them that extra 400 HP of ult charge. It's not that big of a deal. Because the risk of like what happens of you dying, they get a fuck ton more push and they actually probably get further than you do before your BAP gets here. Yeah. Ooh, you guys are engaging without BAP? No, big bad, big bad. This is a throwaway fight. That's the biggest mistake. Should be nothing. No trade right now until you guys have him. And then it's like a double stagger off of that. So that was a mistake on top of a mistake. But first mistake was not resetting because like again, you guys going from here all the way through here all the way to here and getting behind pillar, behind bus by the time your team gets back and they don't push you, with them having Sombra Ball, it's pretty low. It's a pretty low chance. The fact that you got here is a fucking miracle. But it's probably like what, a 20% chance that you get out, and like even less against better teams. And what you gain out of it is like 3 seconds, right? Because if you died on card here 3 seconds after your team did, you'll get back with them in 3 seconds. But if you get all the way across here and you're chilling by the time that they're walking here, then you aren't in spawn those 3 seconds and oh, you can follow out, right? So you gain like 3 seconds for a 80% chance of dying and giving like 12, 13 seconds. Because again, you die 10 seconds, 1, 2, it's probably more. It's probably even 15 seconds, but at least from seeing here in case they do walk up onto your team, right? But most of the time was probably around like 15, 16 seconds. Right, so it's just like, it's not worth it. Expected value is down the drain on that. So just die on point. It's not a big deal. Happily throw yourself on cart knowing you're doing the right play. Good catch on the Sombra. Alright, now she's translocated. Oh, she translocated again. Yeah, okay, they're playing it smart. See, this is what you guys are supposed to do when you guys don't get that big EMP play or that pressure out. You see what they did is when Sombra gets forced out, right? Or over here. She's forced out, gets put over here. It's like, I'm fucked, translocates out. They know, fuck, we can't engage. They just got a good advantage on us. And they just pull back. They just get the fuck out. Right? Giving you no chance to capitalize on that mistake. Right? And to capitalize on not having a Sombra. Right? That's the right play. Sure, Ball's in here, but it's Ball. He'll just fucking fly out if he does get, like, walked at. Right? Or he'll just walk in and be an asshole while Sombra's getting her position, be a little bit of a distraction, and then get a boop angle on the back. Ooh, that's my ball play. But Eraser doesn't like to go. But that's how you should react when you guys don't get a solid engage or you have a downtime on a certain person. Like you have downtime on Baptiste in that situation from that death. You guys should just be like, pull back, pull back, pull back. Don't be in any location where they can walk up and do anything to you or just trade back for free. Right? Like, they're not even trading. They're very disciplined at that point. They're like, some teams will just sit in here and start spamming out and just start spamming out. But then what happens is that you guys speed engage, sprint onto them. They use their cooldowns to try and get back. And you just keep running after them. And when you keep running after them, they're fucked. Right? But they're just being like, no trade, no nothing. Keep all our cooldowns. So that in case you guys do even try to hard rush, they still back out even further, right? And they're just stuck in stupid town. And it's not fun. Alright. So take that as a lesson for what you guys should be doing when you have downtime or not a 5-man engage or your optimal setup. Just completely back off. Don't take the fight yet. Ha, Ball did it. Very bad, stupid. He didn't go up further as fast as he needed to. Or shoot back at Sombra. I want to see, did they back up when this was happening too? Did they play corner and chill? It's kind of like meh. Ball shouldn't have been cut out like that in the first place. That's definitely his mistake. You guys should win this now, with how much they're being forced back. You guys should be noticing Brig here and going for Brig. Oh no. We just walked into a place of letting ourselves get pincered, trying to chase after a Ball. If Ball is that forced out and that fucked, just think they can't counter engage on you going on anybody else. So go on anybody else. Because if you go on anybody else and they try to influence it, they swing in, now they're 1 HP death and you already know that, so then you can kill him. Right? But you guys don't have anything to really chase that after hack. So this is really, really, really greedy. And you're just being like, the rest of the 4 people on their team aren't going to do anything to us. Alright, let's just keep running after them. Let's get this kill. Let's get this bread, boys. And just look at the position you're in. It's horrible. It's hard pincered. By 3 different angles. And these are vulnerable angles. Alright, these suck. This is the only one you have a chance on, and even then you're exposing yourself to 2 more. Right, where you would really just push Ball out, and you see this Brig, she was alone in the beginning. Turn, swing, kill. Right, turn, swing, kill, or just put your DPS and support onto it, because you're like, killing this bitch is just as fast as if we did get onto Ball and killing him, and it's a more valuable person, right? It's like most of their heals. She's way more vulnerable. Has no mobility. And unfortunately, he also gave a pick to Zen. How did that happen too? It happened on Sombra. I wonder if it was an assassination attempt. No, just caught completely off guard. That sucks. And again, that happened already when we were supposed to be turned on Brig, so that would be a kill on Brig for a kill on Sombra. Unless you guys are getting impeded, so it's even worse. Pog. Yeah, no, that's greedy. That's very greedy. I know some of you guys watched my VOD review on that other team. I forget their name, but the one with Shrugsy and all them, where I told them all about triangling. That is hard triangle to you. You have no point of safety in there, and they can choose whoever they want to burst out, right? And anybody that you push, they'll retreat while the others follow in and hard push onto you and get the squishies in the back, right? So it's just not very good. It's the thing you want to avoid the most, especially if you're not like shielding one of the angles. Like if you're caught between a pincer of 2 angles, it can be okay if you're shielding off one of them, but not if you're rushing in and swinging on one of them.
This ends now.
Fortunate free pick, but it should be a trade. Good trade. I'm glad we focused her out and just didn't let her get away for free. Now it's just sort of a small reset, right? Where you should just try and get heals, secure this position. You see that Briggs there. You can guys go for a pick on her while you guys are trying to heal up. Unfortunately, our Sombra gets picked up too. That's really bad. What happened to it? Look at it. Greed. Oh, no translocate. When did that happen? No translocate ever? It feels like no translocate ever. Yeah, no translocate ever. Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. I will say, if you're playing Som, what I almost always do, almost always, is when I'm first spawning, I just throw a translocate at wherever the invincibility barrier is in spawn while I'm doing rollouts and trying to get set up. So just in case anything happens, unbreakable translocator, I still get out. Right? I still get out, and at least it's better than having, you know, the 10-second death timer on top of it. You know? And you still have your speed back with like your stealth once you get translocated out and back into it. So just in case, you always have something. And if you really can't get a good setup translocator spot, like when you're around here and you're walking up, then just don't be afraid to just fucking chuck it in the back. Chuck it in the back, chuck it around a corner, you know, stuff it in someplace, throw it on the side. Don't do that one because that's where they can see. But anything else where they can't really see you just throwing it back, just don't be afraid to just do that. You know, like, yeah, it's not near a health kit, but it's probably on your side of the map where you can run to a health kit or you can run to the healers. You know, anything is better than nothing in that situation because that really does fuck you guys. You had a pick that evens out that Lucio death, and then if you had a translocate out, good, which I think you thought you did, but that mistake is very unfortunate. And sure, with the mines and everything, that doesn't make it so it was an instant win, but still not very good. And then that's just death from there. Alright, so that's the big takeaway. Alright. Brawl versus Ball. Really has to be just Rein versus Brawl for this one. I know you guys play Rein a decent bit, so it's not like it's something you won't run into again. Support's quite close. I'll just say squishies. All of them. You all want to play close. There it is. Squishies. Play close. To Rein. 4. Shield off of either a dive DPS or ranged follow-up. / mother hen. I'm just gonna call it mother hen. There's no other way to describe it that's funnier or cooler. I enjoy it the most. So yeah, just literally absorbing yourself into a Rein hitbox. It is not nearly as scary to be in that dive against the ball as it feels, right? If you're all into it, it is okay if you're also in where your Rein is, right? With that shield follow-up, with that mother hen strategy, and just spam heals or, again, lamping on engage, which lamp for engage burst. It's very high likelihood that with the lamp and then rushing into your tank and having them mitigate and using your shift, you're buying enough time for DPS to force out theirs. Alright. DPS force out dive DPS, then ball pressure, then from there on out, it's not even a soft reset. As soon as you have no criticals, push enemy backline. Faster than they get CDs / Sombra back. All right. So these are the 2 stages. So 2 stages. Absorb / mitigate. You can also say peel if you're old-fashioned. Then rush engage. / punish cooldowns. Yeah, that's CDs. And look, there's almost a parentheses right there. Lol. But this is how you have to play. Because remember, if they have more mobility than you, they get to choose when to fight. Right? They get to choose when to fight, and they get to choose how much they surround you if you're not pressuring them out, and if you're not mitigating the angles from them, and reducing the amount of like ways that they can engage onto you with boops, with shield, and the spaces that you're playing on the map, like that have roofs and bad doorways for them to go through. All right? It's the only thing that you can do for them. They will choose when to engage, and if with them having disruption, if you try to just say fuck that, we're just going to engage anyways without forcing them to engage and punishing CDs and absorbing, what you are doing is you are letting them get their optimal disruption while you're out in the open and have no cover to play around in front of all their sightlines, because you're running towards their supports. Running towards their supports, you get attacked midway to their supports, so you don't even get onto them. And then now they have a really nice, effective range to fuck you up and hit you with easier shots while you've just got disrupted and slammed on. And then you have an alternate angle on your back from a Sombra or a Tracer or things like that. Right? So you're making them have a 5v5 perfect engage instead of forcing them to go onto objective and fight you there with their supports far away because they don't want to get rushed onto. Unless they're really smart in baiting them. But most teams won't. Like 80% of teams will just play supports really far back. And then just make them have a shitty, mitigated, on your terms engage where they get to choose when, but you get to choose where and how. And then getting rid of their cooldowns that allow them to disrupt you and allow them to fuck up that engage and allow them to have like good, hard pressure onto your backline. Okay, and that's the optimal way to play these comps. And it might sound like annoying because you're playing defensively, you're playing mitigation wise. You might be like, oh, that's so boring. That's such a pushy play style. I don't want to do it. Remember, the second you finish that mitigation and your BAP hits right click twice and everyone's full HP because they also shifted themselves and that ability's busted, you get to sprint at them and push their shit in. And that's pretty fun. And you get to dominate them without giving them a chance to do anything to you. And they get to flame their Sombra and they get to flame their ball and saying that they're engaging wrong. When they're really just being outplayed. And you guys are playing way better as a team and playing the comp correctly. And they just can't do anything. You just chokehold them slowly and hold them to sleep. And then get to rush their shit over and over and over again. And they have no shield to deal with any of your DPS. So he gets to have a fun time shooting them. So yeah, I think that's a good review for that matchup. And you guys will be facing more balls. You will be facing more Rein V dives and all that sort of situations. One thing against Winston, it is better for them to actually play off of your, play away from your Rein. Because not too far, not really play away from the Rein, but don't play as grouped. Don't play as like instantly in Tesla range group, because if they do get like a 3-man Tesla engage, you guys are kind of fucked, especially with bubble, you know, in there and then some extra dives. That's where you do want to play a little bit more spread out, but not so spread out that you guys can't see each other, right? And that you guys can't influence each other on any sort of engage. So you kind of want to be playing in like a line, right, where it's like tank, then range DPS, and then subs. Right, so like they either engage the subs, this guy's out of, you know, the damage the bubble and all that sort of Tesla and all that stuff, so he's not also dying, right? Because if all three of you are together, all three of you are dying, the supports can only mitigate like one other person each. And like even if it's AoE heals, it's probably so much damage that somebody will die into that, right? You really can't focus heal all three of you up at the same time. So then you have one less person to worry about, can just burst one of these two with heals to try and survive and cooldowns to absorb that dive. Get rid of bubble with your DPS that aren't in pressure. And your tank can again mitigate alternate angles or try and run in and a little bit of mother henning if possible, not to deal with the Tesla damage, but to deal with the DPS follow-up, right? Like if it's just double dives Sombra Tracer, it is good to just get in the fucking mouth of your support, let him take just Winston damage, right? And swing them off, okay? And that is fine. It's going to be hard because you're like, oh, which one do I protect? BAP, Ana, Iari. Whichever one of those three you're running, whichever one is just the most heals on your team and doesn't have like a fade like Moira or a TP like Kiri, that one, okay? And it might be good to run Kiri loose as your supports into that, because if they get died by Winston, they have stuff to mitigate themselves in a TP out and just fuck with their engage and be like undiveable. And it's really nice, very, very nice. Then your DPS have to be careful if that's the occasion. So like Sojourn has to keep her shift to fly out of bubble and they get healed and all that stuff. Okay, so that's your blank V ball V dive situations that are going on, and I hope it helps. And yeah, if it doesn't help, I didn't charge for this session, so easy. GG's. All right, y'all have a good one. Peace.